Hello, friends. I hope you had a good Christmas. Hope that year is ending well for you. I was going to do kind of a recap of the year. I posted on Facebook earlier today. What's a highlight or a favorite memory that you've had here in 2024, and I posted a picture of my three grandkids. The first time that they met each other, we had a family vacation in Bend, and it was really sweet. My granddaughter, she just turned 1, and my grandson, he was born a little bit before Easter, the week before Easter, so he's not quite 1 yet. The change of plans, church service today made me shift gears. We've had some leadership with physical illness. One of our pastors said it's a spiritual attack. And it just highlighted for me how mixed the experience, the feelings can be during the holidays, during Christmas, end of the year. Just celebrated the birth of Jesus, peace on earth, goodwill to men, joy to the world. But Christmas, the holidays, can be a time of struggle and difficult for a lot of people. If you don't know me already, I'm a counselor here in town. I work with folks that struggle with mental illness and work with couples that are working to improve their marriage, heal, strengthen, save their marriage. And also the other half of the week, I work with folks in the health and wellness department at Kaiser. I work with a lot of people struggling with medical issues, struggling with chronic pain. And one thing that came to mind is this idea, the verse that says that by his stripes we're healed, and how people can use that as a way of saying that Jesus' crucifixion, his death, has accomplished healing for us. You just have to, it's a reality that you just have to live out, you have to accept and claim and take hold of to experience it. It really frustrates me because while that may be true and in the Bible, what's also true in a reality for so many people is that their body is broken. Their health is broken. They're in poor health. They're in tremendous pain, whether they're damaged bodies, damaged immune system, digestive system, cancer, recovering from cancer, physical brokenness and disease. Some folks, their relationships are broken and in need of healing. Their nervous systems, their brains, their hormones are affected by trauma, affected by depression, PTSD. And a lot of people with those physical and mental illnesses struggle in silence and struggle alone. I think that one of the worst things about being in pain is being in pain alone and not being able to talk about it, not being able to share experience, or being pressured to pretend or act like it's not a reality. That causes tremendous strain mentally and emotionally. It takes a lot of energy. Now, some people, they do that because they're just trying to get through the day, trying to get through work. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just living in denial and not, sometimes it really, just the cognitive dissonance of not having permission to be real about struggle, about suffering, about grief. And this played out a lot in Christmas, during Christmas with my patients and clients. I just hear lots of stories about the expectations that they have for themselves or their family have when they're going to visit or have gatherings, and the stories that you share or what you share with people, friends or family, and not being real about what you're experiencing. It makes something painful, like even more painful, to pretend. I just believe we have to do a better job as people of faith, as Christians, at acknowledging that, it's not all or nothing, black and white. It's not just all celebration and peachy keen and joy and happiness, or peace, or pain and suffering, and that sin or not living in the right way is the cause of that, right? That's like the oldest error in the Bible. The first book of the Bible, or the oldest, right, I believe, is Job, and that's the eternal question of, like, why is he suffering, right? Job's friends, he must have sinned. He must be doing something wrong. And it's really, so something painful about having chronic pain and chronic illness is, one, being alone, but then the belief or entering in that you deserve it. It must be something that you've done to deserve this, or that you are unloved. One of the most painful things. And that can be with illness, because you're broken, that you don't deserve love, you deserve bad things, and you don't deserve good things, and you've become unlovable, not worthy of love. And being alone and unloved, individually, see it with people that struggle with their physical health, but also in relationships. Really hard. So all this to say, my encouragement to you is to take the time to reflect on this past year, the good things that happened, the highlights, the moments that brought you joy and happiness and peace, the moments that you were proud of yourself, the things that you grew in, the things that you learned, the relationships that were strengthened or grew closer, and also reflect on the losses and the grief and the disappointments and anything that was hard, and hold those things together. It's not all bad. It's not all good. Why? Because the things that you don't pay attention to don't just go away. They can rear up and bite you, and you can kind of be fine for a while and then wake up and just have that feeling that something's off. Why? I was reflecting on this today. Disappointments, small things, can lead to discouragement. Disappointment, wanting to get a job, didn't get the job that you wanted, experiencing rejection, plans that you had with a family member, plans that you had for how the Christmas was going to go, how Thanksgiving was going to go. Some little disappointments can lead to discouragement. And too much discouragement can lead to depression and grief. At Christmas, even if you understand why something happened, like an end of a relationship, a move, even if you logically understand, like maybe that was a good decision or the best decision, there can still be grief and sorrow at life not being the way that you wanted. So that because of the mind-body connection, the depression, the grief, the sorrow can lead to low energy, physical energy, demotivation, slipping into negative habits. It can become dis-ease. It's not only just discouragement and feeling down and sorrow. It can create turmoil and anxiety and worry about the future. Worry about if you're always going to feel this way, if you're stuck and trapped in how you're feeling. It can create discomfort, dis-ease with yourself, unhappiness with not just how life is turning out, but like who you are becoming or haven't become as a person. And maybe a breakup, maybe a relationship, dating relationship not working out, maybe a marriage not working out. Very painful. Have met with several couples this year. They're just struggling. So when your heart is sick, when your soul is sick, your heart can become sick. There is a connection. Gabor Mate, he writes about the relationship between your emotions and stress and chronic pain and autoimmune disease, and ADHD. And too much depression can lead to demotivation. It can lead to shame and hiding. It can lead to disconnection and isolation. And after a while, you can get sick of being sick of feeling sick. Right? Like God can heal instantaneously in the moment, but very often the healing, it's not a healing, is recovery from an injury. It takes time. It's recovery. It's a rehabilitation. It's repair. And sometimes you can lose patience in that process and get tired of being tired, sick of being sick, tired of being tired. And you can get wounded in the wars of life, wars of leadership, wars of being an entrepreneur and trying to make it in this economy. You can be wounded in relationship, especially with someone who's not healthy and not willing to work on things. Ooh, okay. So what do we do? Well, one of our sisters in church, she shared a verse from 2 Chronicles chapter 20, kind of midway through. The end of the verse was, "We don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you." And I don't know what you're going through. And sometimes it's hard to say what to do. Or maybe you've tried so many different things like nutrition and pain and don't know what to do. Nothing seems to work. I saw a clip on YouTube, a rabbi. I wish I remember his name right now. It was about the Holocaust and the question of the Holocaust and why. And he said, there's no reason, like there's no answer. And there's no good reason why millions of people died. And he was just tired of people trying to frame it as a good thing. He's like, we don't want to become comfortable with the idea of death being a good thing, or the death of millions of people. And that's huge. Why didn't a relationship work out? Why have you been struggling with chronic mental illness or chronic physical pain? I don't know why. And you might not get answers in this lifetime. But I do. But being alone makes it worse. So what do you do? Is my encouragement is don't be alone. You're not alone. You don't have to be alone. Try to connect. Try to get support if you're feeling isolated this year. Don't go through what you're going through alone. I think, yeah, that verse, going back to that verse, by his stripes we are healed. I do think one aspect of that is not that it's a magic wand to wave over and then like poof, you're healed. I think one application of that verse is that we're healed from the pain of suffering alone. We're healed from the pain of being alone and abandoned in pain and in suffering. Jesus bearing stripes shows that he had to become a man and come to be with us in our humanity and in our suffering. And Gabor Mate says that, with PTSD or trauma, one of the things that make you vulnerable to that after traumatic event is not being able to process it and not being able to share, the pain being unseen. So I hope you realize that you don't have to go through what you're going through alone. And I hope you reach out and get help. Yeah. This past year, it was a good year in many ways. It was very difficult, very hard in many ways. One thing that was hard, I'll share. One thing that was hard was just another year. It was like a year and a half now of empty nest. If you know me, one of the joys, one of my favorite things in life are my kids. And, as they get older, lots of good things, seeing them grow into adulthood is a joy. It's I'm very proud of them, but it's painful. It's hard, that it's life. There's a, I'll end with this. There's an old hymn. I think it's, the wonderful cross. Oh, the wonderful cross. But the lyric is something. A part of the lyric is, sorrow and love flow mingled down. Did ere such love and sorrow meet, or thorns compose so rich a crown? Sorrow and love mingled together, flowing down. Love and sorrow meeting. Jesus experienced that pain in that moment, the sacrifice, that dying for us, the pain of the thorns, or also a crown. And we go through life, we kind of share, we experience both. We experience the joy and the peace of love and being loved, but also the sorrow of broken bodies, aging bodies, stress and depression, feeling overwhelmed, the sorrow of loss, broken relationships, reminders and regrets of friends that we used to have and aren't around anymore, people that are gone. I don't know what to do, but our eyes are on you. I hope you can, despite all that what you've gone through, you can still put faith and hope in God, even if you've been disappointed by him or God's people. I hope good things for you this year. I hope it'll be a great year of growth and healing, and I hope to see you more on the podcast this year. All right, until next time.